Go.
Welcome. It's December 17, 2023. Dan Grider, probable cause, sipping my coffee. I have been a little bit under the weather. I'm going to explain all that. I got to shoot this video on one take, get it up and on the air. I am pretty fired up about a couple things. I'll back up and get these in order. I appreciate you hanging with me here tonight on tonight's live YouTube broadcast. Hopefully Sunday evenings. We try to cover the most recent general aviation fatal accidents in the U.S., trying to lower the general aviation fatal accident rate. Currently, we're at 166 out of 168. I had a goal of 14.0 per month for the year. That's because 12 times 14 is 168. Right now, we're at 166. Here's the graphic. Only got 2 spaces on this list left for the month of December, where you could still get your name on the list. I recommend that you don't do that. Try to fly it a little safer, use better decisions, and use AQP training, use AQP conditioning so that you're a little bit more ready for what is about to happen to you when you're out there. Yes, I am sick. I hope you have antivirus protection on your computer right now because I'm transmitting a virus to you as we speak. I don't have any flu-like conditions. I don't have any debilitating anything like that. I don't have a fever, aches, pains, or anything, but I have had the sneezes and drizzles and all that stuff. What happened was I went to Virginia last weekend and traipsed through the woods and did this whole thing for the semi-crash up there and got back. I was fine when I got back. I shot that video and produced it. Came out last Sunday night, a week ago tonight, right now. And then starting Monday, I started feeling really drizzly and sneezy and stuff like that. So I was bad Monday and Tuesday, but then the Oklahoma City Musketeer crash got on my plate, and I started looking very carefully at that and the fascinating story on that I got to tell you. And that's I've got the whole thing for the year 2023. I believe this video that I'm going to include on this video right now at the very end of this, I think this is probably one of my better productions of the year. Not that any of them have been that great, but I took a tremendous effort on this Oklahoma City crash to give you the entire backstory. I believe that that's where the NTSB really falls down, is in the human side of things, going back to figure out the backstory behind what really happened before this and what happened this. They simply want to collect up the wreckage, the burnt, mangled wreckage, and put it in a hangar and look at it for the next 3 years. That doesn't tell the story. I'm going to tell you the story of this fantastic couple in Oklahoma City and what happened to them. It's going to make your blood boil. I'm going to put that at the very end of this thing before we get into it. But let's go over a couple things first here before we go do that. First of all, last week's video, I normally take those down after 6 days. They stay up 6 days, and somewhere around the evening of the 6th or morning of the 7th day, I take it back down. And that's because they always flatline out. The one from last Sunday night has not flatlined yet. It's got a lot of views. I don't really pay attention to the views. I pay attention to the minutes watched. Typically, a Sunday night video gets about 1 million minutes watched every 6 days, then I take it down. When those minutes watched turns flat, that's when I take it down. This one is right straight through 2 million minutes watched. Here's the graph for it, and it hasn't slowed down yet. If you notice this curve here, it's still on the way up. YouTube does everything on the basis of minutes watched, their recommend feature and everything else. So this one, I don't know why, but it's still tracking. And on top of that, my subscription base here off this thing, I gained 1,100 subscribers off of this one video alone. Here's the graph for that. Also, I'll point out, in the YouTube world, I am a new YouTuber. I've had the channel a long time, but I only had probable cause now just right at 3 years. Just about right about now, I produced my very first probable cause video 3 years ago. I have never gone on there and said, please like and subscribe. I won't beg for your subscription. If you need to leave, you're excused. I don't need your likes. I don't need your subscriptions. If you don't want to like and subscribe, I want you to like and subscribe if you want to. That's on me. If my content is not compelling enough for you to like it and want to see more, then I need to be doing something different. I will never get on there on my hands and knees and beg you to like and subscribe. It's like being in third grade and have some kid beg a girl, please like me, please, 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 please like me. Well, I don't really like you. Well, can you like me anyway? No, I don't like you. I mean, it's so childish. Please like and subscribe. Never made any sense. If you do your job as a YouTuber and you produce excellent quality content that people like, you're automatically going to get likes. You're automatically going to get subscriptions. The whole thing's automatically going to happen. I think that's what happened on this last video. I think somehow I hit a resonance chord with enough content in there on the last video that the subscription base did very good. I hope that I will continue to uphold the standard of content for what you want to see. Yes, I do ramble a lot. However, I want to make this entertaining. It's educational, should be entertaining as well, and it's laced with truth. You know, one time a girl asked me, she said, do these jeans make me look fat? And I said, no, it's not the jeans. So it is December 17th, 2023. This is the anniversary of both the Wright Flyer and the DC-3. The DC-3, which was the predecessor, or the actually the variant of the DC-1, the DC-2, and then the DC-3, December 17, 1935, was the first flight of the DC-3. 1903, December 17, 1903 was the first flight of the Wright Flyer. So December 17 is an ironic day here. Also, it's 1 week till Christmas Eve. If you have not started to get your Christmas shopping done for your girlfriend or your wife and your girlfriend both, then you need to go out and do that and get that stuff done here before the last minute Christmas shopping rush hits. 2 weeks from tonight is New Year's Eve. I still plan on doing broadcasts both Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. We will probably do some kind of a live special thing on New Year's Eve. Haven't really figured that out yet, but that's kind of the way that's looking. So got 2 Sundays left after tonight. Got 2 Sundays left in the month of December. Still trying to stay below 168 for the year. In the month of December, that'll be a total of less than 12 for the year. If we can do it, I don't know, but we're sure pulling for that. You know, my video from last week drew a little bit of fire for a couple things. First of all, Simi did cancel IFR. I know it's not on the live ATC tape that I played, but he definitely did cancel IFR. What he said was that he was going to intend to cancel once he had field in sight, but you couldn't hear his actual cancellation because he was too low. But the ATC people that work up there tell me that he did squeak out a cancel IFR just before they lost contact with him, and they acknowledged his cancel IFR. The other thing is that the NTSB report up there, I went out there and found this initial point of contact. The heading track on this thing was about a 352-degree heading. Off course, it's runway 30, so about a 22-degree right-hand turn off the approach course, a diving right-hand turn into the tops of the trees. There's only one reason that Simi flew into the tops of the trees, and that's because he never saw them. It was low IFR. I think he flew into that curtain of wall. Pushing the nose lower, as I've seen so many times, is the natural instinct is to want to do is to go lower to find Mother Earth because it's got to be down there somewhere. He never saw the trees. He obviously would not have flown into the tops of those trees if he had seen them. He didn't know where he was. He didn't know that he had drifted slightly right and the nose was coming down 700 feet a minute, and down he went into the tops of those trees. He did cancel IFR. The other thing I want to make clear is this on this Jenny girl, the YouTuber Jenny, I didn't call this an autopilot elevator trim stall. Her airplane did not have elevator trim, but it did have an autopilot with altitude hold. It had attitude hold and attitude hold and altitude hold. She definitely had the autopilot on. I still think this was a stall spin that caused the problem. I didn't say she hit the ground in a stall spin. I said that she stall spun. This is an autopilot stall spin, and she ended up hitting the ground in a dive. I'm going to show you a little bit of video footage coming out of a dive. Coming out of a spin is a very steep nose down, wings level, 50-degree nose down is the recovery coming out of a stall spin. If she got it out of it at the very last second, that's what that would have looked like. I don't see any other way that she could have got from altitude all the way straight down to the ground and hit the earth like that. We may never actually know. The witness statements on that thing are kind of varied and kind of vague. I don't really know if I can trust what I'm hearing out of there, but still no good information, good data. All we know for sure, in my opinion, Jenny should have never been in that airplane. She should have been in a 150 for the next 200 hours doing time building and doing things back to basics the right way. To be in a debonair with a autopilot and doing that kind of stuff just simply was not good. You know, I'm kind of reevaluating, realigning what I want to do in the year 2024. I'm definitely going to keep on doing YouTube stuff. The channel has grown. Your support has been very, very strong, and I appreciate that. You people out there that can contribute $1 or $2 per video as you're able to, where it doesn't hurt you, I appreciate that because it covers my costs. I had all of my costs covered for going up to Virginia and doing the semi crash up there. I raised several hundred. I probably raised $250 or $300 towards my costs, more than enough to cover my travel expenses, which is all I'm after. This trip that I just got done going to Oklahoma City, I'm sure I'll raise. There are enough people out there with a spare $1 bill or a $2 bill electronically that will help me, and I appreciate you doing that. If you are a struggling person, flight student, beginner, fledgling person, don't give me money for these videos. I want you to watch these videos and stay alive. You watch this content for free. This content should be educational, totally free for everyone, and you give if you can. If you can't and can't afford it, I don't want your money. You keep your $1, and that's totally fair. I would rather have you stay alive. There are enough other people out there who are successful, or I shouldn't say successful. They are mature enough in life where they're established, and $1 or $2 doesn't mean very much to them. I remember being a budding CFI student, college kid, where every dollar meant something. If you're in that position, don't give me $1 for one of these videos. That's exactly how this works. The theme for 2024 is I want to continue on with absolutely free content with no ads. I'm still working on last week's video, did get pinged with ads, and that's because the video that I stole out of Jenny's video had music in it, and I didn't know it. But YouTube eventually picked that up. You know, that video originally played in a very low-res version. I don't know why. It increased its own resolution rate later on, but it also, after day 3, it started popping ads in there, and that's because of the music that was embedded in Jenny's video that I used in my video. My theme is free content with no ads, and I got ABC to endorse me here. Let's listen to ABC and their new endorsement for Dan's Probable Cause.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out
Dan's
YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download
Probable Cause
for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.
My favorite part is that there are no ads. Yes, you heard it right. 0 ads. 0 ads. 0 ads.
So after I got to feel a little bit better Wednesday, I sent Dylan in his little Cherokee. I sent him west towards Oklahoma. I knew I wanted to go to Oklahoma City. I just didn't know when or how it was going to work. I had an email from a lady named Pat out there who was very qualified, ANPIA flight instructor person, retired Navy person. Pat, I have no idea who she was, but she wrote to me, and we wrote back and forth. She said, if you get out here to Wiley Post, I will pick you up and take care of you. I'll cart you around. I'll answer your questions. I'll give you a place to stay. So on that whim, I sent Dylan out there Wednesday morning in his Cherokee. He went out there, and then Thursday, I flew to Tulsa, Oklahoma on the airlines. I non-rev to Tulsa, stopped in. I was going to pick up some hats right here, and I got these hats. My friend Roger Pierce out there in Tulsa, Oklahoma is the maker of all these hats, and I picked up some hats from Roger. I don't sell hats. I'm not a retailer, but this one time per year, if you'd like a hat, I still have some hats. I have a few hats left. You can email me, probablecausedangrider@gmail.com. I'll give you the instructions for how to get a hat. Probably still get it by Christmas. I've still got a few left from that order. Roger is the hat maker in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I shot just a little bit of video with Roger because he's a great guy. He did not ask me to do this promo, but he has invested in a new 6-head hat making machine, and he is a outstanding guy. Let's take a look at some video from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and my friend Roger Pierce. Are you rolling?
Yep.
All right, there's our sync.
Oh, good. I always wondered about that.
Well, down here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, if you ever wonder where the hats come from, the hats, Roger is the man. Brother, I appreciate you hooking me up with the hats. Roger has been a dear friend for a long time. He's had the hat idea. Tell me about this machine you got back here. What does this thing do?
Okay, well, this is a 6-head embroidery machine from Happy, and it allows me to do 6 times as much work in the same amount of time as my single head that I used to use.
Perfect. So you want to be in the hat business?
I do. Well, hats, garments, just garments of anything that needs embroidery I can do. Airplane seats. I can
Yeah.
do anyway. I can do just about anything. Golf bags. I can anything that needs embroidery.
Perfect. So you just need some customers.
I do. I'll take all the customers.
Let's get you some customers.
Thank you.
Well, I appreciate all your work that you've done on the whole hat and the retail thing is so foreign to me, but I do sell a few hats every now and then. And last week when I put that thing on YouTube that I had a few hats left over, I got cleaned out immediately. So we actually went to Tulsa and picked up some fresh stock of hats that I'll get going here right away. But how can people contact you the best?
Well, the easiest way is to give me a call.
All right.
And if I don't answer, you can always leave a message. But
all right, I'll put Roger's phone number on the screen right here. No prank calls, and don't put his phone number on the bathroom wall or something like that. But if you need embroidery, the customer service here has been excellent. I can call Roger just about any time and tell him what's going on, what I need, and he answers his phone. And it's just one of those things that...
Well, sometimes I get lonely and I just wait for phone calls.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, I'm very impressed with your machine here, and this is all really good. I'm very happy for you. I know you've invested a lot of time and effort to make all this work, and people have been very happy with your hat. The hat quality, the embroidery quality is very high, and I've sure enjoyed these. The hat phenomena is crazy. I cannot believe number of people that just go bonkers over having a hat.
Yep.
It's like,
it's yours. It's the celebrity part of it.
It's amazing. But anyway, this is where they come from. Roger in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So if you need hats, embroidery, golf bag, or if you need your grass cut, Roger also cuts grass.
I'll do it all.
He'll do it all.
It doesn't matter.
Call him up, and I sure appreciate it, Roger. This is totally cool.
Well, thank you. It's just great to have you come out here and visit with me, and I'm just real pleased to be able to have you.
Perfect. All right. So we're going to get to the list that I have on your screen here right now. I'm showing you the December list. This is the 10 that we're at so far for the month of December. Of most importance here, I'm going to show you the one that I really homed in on here this week. This is 6945 Quebec. That's the Musketeer out in Wiley Post. It happened 1 week ago today. In fact, I was just sitting down in this chair 1 week ago to produce this broadcast when my phone rang and they told me about this Musketeer crash. Immediately, I pulled the tape and looked at it and the whole thing. I opened last week's Sunday night video with that sequence when I had just barely learned about it. Let's go back and listen to the start of last week's video, how I opened last week's video talking about this. This is when I knew very, very little about it. Oklahoma City, a little beach Musketeer this morning with 2 people in it. One did not make it, the other badly burned, and don't know the outcome yet. Listen to this.
Okay, we're losing power. We're losing power. I'm going to land on.
He says, okay, we're losing power.
Okay, we're losing power.
Notice he didn't say we've lost power. The power is not shut off. He is losing power. He's in a left-hand turn. He declares an emergency several times. We're going to get into this accident. This is number 6 for the month. Remember, I'm on this quest to keep the general aviation fatal accident rate below 14.0 for the year. Since then, you know, it's always a human factor in this thing. I learned the story in this 6945 Quebec. This is the 3rd engine failure on this engine. What happened was this airplane had an engine failure. It's got a problem with this Lycoming IO360 in the through bolt on the number 1 cylinder. This is the front end of the engine. It's got a thing called a through bolt that carries the load all the way through the case. This engine had already had a through bolt problem, and they had replaced the cylinder. And then it had a second problem, and they had gone through and topped it. Each time they had worked on the upper end of this engine, but never the lower end. I don't know that they'd ever replaced the through bolts in these engines. I'm going to show you a picture right now of what a through bolt is. This is not the same exact engine. This is another Lycoming. I'm showing you the in circle here. This is the nut on the through bolt. Now, my friend Dylan Self out here, he bought this airplane with the logbooks. It was his first airplane. He's a new pilot. He bought this airplane, and he was flying it when he had an engine failure. However, he was able to safely navigate it and get it on the ground, and he was totally fine. But he got to pick it through the books figured out the previous history on this thing, and he landed it in Baxley, Georgia. Now, on the ground in Baxley, Georgia, there happened to be a mechanic there that looked at it and told him that this engine is trash. It's got to come out. There's something bad wrong with this engine, and you need to do something different. So Dylan decided he would just put the thing in, trade a plane, sell it as is, whereas I have been very impressed in speaking with Dylan. He was very upfront, very forthright on everything he said. I'm going to read you the ad that he put on Facebook when he went to sell this airplane. He said, this plane has been flown regularly until October 27th, 2022, when I lost fuel pressure and the shaking of the engine sheared the cylinder base bolts on cylinder 1. I've been told I will need to have it torn down and inspected, which I cannot afford to do at this time because I spent so much in it already. The mechanic told him that you're going to need at least $12,500 all the way up to $30,000 to get this engine right. He couldn't afford it. So he put it in trade a plane for $45,000, but the mechanic, Greg Harless, called him up as soon as he saw the ad and said, I'll tell you what, I'll help you out here. I'll give you 40 cash and it'll be my problem. I'll take care of it. Dylan sold the airplane to Greg Harless for $40,000. Here's a picture of the check. This happened on March 27th, 2023. Not very long. This is the same accident airplane that just happened in Oklahoma City. Greg Harless had this airplane. He bought it for $40,000. Within 2 weeks, it was flying. He replaced a jug and it was back flying. I'm not a mechanic, and I don't have substantiation of all the rest of what was actually done because I haven't seen the records yet, but I will. Now, this airplane goes back to flying. This is after engine failure number 3. Now it gets sold to our friends out in Oklahoma City, and it goes out in Oklahoma City. The guy that bought this is a brand new private pilot. It's his first airplane, and on this takeoff, the exact same thing happens. I suspect that this is the exact same problem. This case had already been welded once. They've already done so much cylinder work and upper end work on this thing. This is a vibration. This is a common Lycoming problem, and this engine was sick on the lower end, never did get fixed. Greg Harless took this airplane for $40,000, sold it for around $80,000. I don't have the exact number or the paperwork yet, but I will. I have an opinion on this, and I'm going to withhold it. But if you took that airplane for $40,000 and sold it for $80,000, and you had it flying within 2 weeks, I don't know that you actually fixed anything. You sold it to an unsuspecting brand new private pilot who had an engine failure. Now we're going to go to Oklahoma City next. I'm going to show you this entire route. After Dylan and I left Tulsa, Oklahoma, he and I jumped in the Cherokee. We flew to Oklahoma City, Tulsa to Oklahoma City, and the idea was we wanted to get a lay of the land. We're going to shoot some video, but we didn't know how it was going to work out. I know for sure that the accident airplane took off on 35 right, which is making takeoffs and landings to the north. However, when we got to Wiley Post, they were landing south. Very busy. The traffic pattern was full of military airplanes, so we kind of had to sashay our way in and try to work in what we wanted to get worked in and work with the tower. You can hear the communications. The tower guy never did fully understand what it was that I was trying to do, but I needed to make an illustration. We stayed up above the traffic pattern. We were completely safe, and everything I asked for was approved. However, you could hear his voice. He was not real happy with having to deal with us. Let's cut to the chase. Here's me and Dylan in Oklahoma City, and I'm gonna show you the narration voiceover that I've dropped onto this section of this video. This is the accident sequence for 6945 Quebec.
Gallon 1, sir, cleared out, getting contact discussion.
Gallon 1-1, roger, sir. On departure, you apply heading 200. Departure frequency is Oklahoma City on a 124.6, sir.
Gallon 1, on departure, apply heading 200, contact.
Gallon 1-1, runway 17, that's cleared for the option.
Gallon 1, cleared out, 17.
You can tell the controller is starting to get annoyed.
64 November, what are your intentions, sir?
We're just doing some aerial survey. We'd like to be in this area at 2500 for a few minutes.
I'm trying to take a look around and see the area that I'm about to video.
64 November, remain east of runway 17 left. There's traffic on a 3-mile funnel now for runway 17 left, and that is a Texan 2, sir.
Yes, sir. We're well east of 17 left.
So I'm going to stay east of 17 left, and I'm going to stay above the traffic pattern.
So 47 White Post Tower report is over. 64 November, traffic Texan 2 on a 3-mile funnel for runway 17 left.
That's right.
Global column 11, traffic is a Cessna now, just heading to left. He's northbound at 2,600. Opposite direction.
Star 1 will be correcting traffic. And do you have an altitude for I find out?
It'll be 3,000, sir.
3,000, Roger.
Okay, he keeps on calling me a Cessna, even though I'm on his screen as a PA-28. I'm in a right-hand turn now, still looking around the area. I'm going to come back southbound, looking out to the west, kind of surveying the possible landing sites. Here's the ground track of the ADS-B data that I've overlaid onto this Google Earth picture so you can see exactly what the accident airplane flew. Now I'm in a right-hand turn back towards the south again.
Number 64 November, additional traffic is another Texan 2 on a 5-mile final for runway 17 left, sir.
All right, we're looking.
47 traffic 2 north of the field now, orbiting just east of the extended center line in Cessna. Roger.
He's still calling me a Cessna, but now I'm looking out my right window at all the possible landing areas here compared to the track of where the guy flew. So here they are on your screen. This is where he was when he had his engine failure. This is the field right here that was totally available. Lots of them in the area here. This is option 1. This is option 2. And look at all the other available pictures of perfect places that you could have landed an airplane off field out here, right here. This is all the other ones that I've drawn in here. Now it's fixed to get busy here, and the problem is they're landing south, and I'm wanting to make a takeoff on 35 right and fly the profile and bring it around for 17 right. So I had to kind of get creative on how to do this. Meanwhile, I've already been testing the limits of the patience on this particular controller who still doesn't know what I want to do.
Column 11 heading 200 in contact Oklahoma City departure. Maintain 3000. Good day.
Column 1 heading 260 to 3000, contact departure.
My next idea is to fly a very close left downwind.
Slow 47, runway 17 left, clear for the option. Cessna traffic just ahead and to your left, just northeast corner of the field, orbiting at 2,700. 64 November, that additional Texan 2 is now 2 miles straight out.
Okay, we're looking.
He's still calling me a Cessna, but that's okay. I'm about to make a right-hand turn and fly a very, very close left downwind. It's going to look like an arrival, but I'm really flying the departure profile off of 35 right, still honoring his request to remain east of the extended center line of 17 left. Now the audio is about to increase here we're setting up cameras in flight here, and we've got in-flight footage here that's about to join. This is Dylan and I flying the airplane, and from here on out it's going to be the accident profile. There's the audio that kicks in here, and in a second we're going to have cameras right about now.
Let me know when you're ready for 180. All right, hang on a second. Tower 8261, over.
The 477 Echo, runway 17 left, clear for takeoff, west departure approved.
Hey, 17 left, clear for takeoff. West departure approved. 477 Echo.
64 November Tower.
Yes, sir. We're back on a right turn northbound now, remaining east of 17 left. Like to go out to the north and turn around and land 17 left when you're ready.
64 November, make a left turn, sir. There's traffic Texan 2 on the go.
We got insight.
I'm in my right-hand turn, I'm east of the center line, and I'm above the traffic pattern, and I have the Texan in sight.
Could have easily just made a left 180 instead of a right 180. Well, he knows what we're altitude we're at. He's supposed to altitude separate that guy. 264 November, now northbound for the last time, like clearance to land 17 right when you go down.
Now I'm going to really test his patience because I want to go to the north, but still land 17 right.
64 November, enter left base for runway 17 right. Runway 17 right, you clear to land.
Clear land 17 right, and we'd like a 3-mile final for 17 right. Can we extend that 3 miles before we enter right base for 17 right?
64 November, proceed as requested.
Thank you.
He's kind of not happy.
All right. And 61 November, descending out of 2600.
Flow 47, contact.
All right, you got the airplane? Got the airplane?
64 November, roger.
Now, I'm about to show you out the windshield what the accident airplane would have seen straight ahead, the field that was totally available. This is his home practice field. This is where he learned to fly. He's made hundreds of takeoffs. He's seen the same field himself so many times.
All right, give me a clap. All right, there you go. All right, you got the airplane. Put your hand on the throttle. Is that field right there? No, I see a lot of fields. That big one right there. Okay. You're aiming towards it.
This is one of the suitable emergency landing fields that was totally available to this Musketeer. This field is located about a mile north of where the problem occurred. There it is.
There you go. All right, now start a left-hand turn, putting the nose up a little bit. More power. More power. There you go. Flight at Bell Tower, helicopter 662, Alpha Echo. All the way around. All the way around.
Helicopter 662 Alpha Echo, wireless tower.
662 Alpha Echo, jet set, Mike Bravo for a lift to the south, left turn out eastbound.
Now we have to take it low and fly right to the spot.
Helicopter 662 Alpha
Now you're aimed at
taxiway Bravo.
17 right. See it out there? Yeah.
Left turn out is approved, sir.
Clear for takeoff from Bravo with a left turn out for 2 Alpha Echo. Thank you.
Should I be departing to the south?
That's 64 November, final 17 right, full stop.
64 November, roger, cleared to land, runway 17 right.
Runway 17 right, thank you.
We're just north of the accident site.
All right, keep on going. I'm going to help you fly the airplane because I know where the crash spot is here. Stay on the controls with me.
The whole up here, I would hope that somebody would do that all the time, every time.
The FAA and the National Transportation Safety Board are now investigating this crash.
This jagged pile of rocks is, I believe this is the initial point of contact. This is red paint off the airplane, the scrape. The whole scrape design and all the chips and paint and debris field are from here to the burn mark, but I believe this is the first point of contact. I don't think that they touched down any earlier than this. They almost cleared this little pile of rocks. I mean, they came really close to clearing this, but they didn't. At least a portion of the airplane ended up right here. The rest of this burn area out here is because of the grass that caught on fire, but the airplane was on fire. At least half of it or so was right here. And then you can see the rocks going this way. This is definitely the direction that we came from. So we're gonna hop in the airplane tomorrow and go fly this same approach and see what it looks like from in the air and see what other decisions could have been made that could have prevented this. That's most what I'd like to look at and see what can we learn from this horrific crash. What takeaways can you get off of this to help you fly better?
The adult male was talking to us on scene, but we're not sure of the accuracy of the information just due to the traumatic situation that was going on.
Oklahoma City Fire Department confirming late Sunday night the pilot also died.
I just took off running and ran up there and did all I could do.
The Good Samaritan says he found the plane with fire roaring around it.
Before I actually got there, I was yelling, "Hello, is anybody out there?" I was able to make out a person sitting on the ground, engulfed in flames, and I ran over to him, and I guess I kind of tackled him. I was trying to put him out. I was trying to get him to roll around.
This is us on short final for the accident site. You can see it just in view here, even though the camera's shaky. There's the rock pile, just short of the diagonal levee.
All right, stay on it right there. Hold what you got. See, we're red over red out here.
We're going to take this down as low as we possibly can.
Numbers 477 Echo Echo, frequency
up.
sir.
Frequency change. You go now, get red over white. Echo. There's red over right, full flaps, and land the airplane.
This is the final resting place of the aircraft.
We got it.
Here's another field just a little bit to the west of the other one. This one is also equally suitable. I mean, this thing is like a soccer field out here, and it goes all the way down this way, all the way down towards these houses down here. Plenty of running room. Both of these fields would have been 12 o'clock and 1 mile to the pilot who was in trouble. So if that just doesn't break your heart, this poor guy went back into the fire to try to pull his wife out of there. He burnt alive, and it's so senseless. The emphasis out here in the field is to return to the field. This is the AOPA thing. This is the McSpadden thing. This is the emphasis on you can do it, you can turn around, you can return to the field. I disagree. You might be able to, but if you have a sure shot directly in front of you, there's nothing wrong with an off-field landing. I'm very disappointed in this guy named Kerry McCauley that made this video. I want you to go back and watch it. He takes a 182, and at 500 feet with his own son, he wants to do a 45-degree bank at 500 feet, full flaps, and turn the airplane around just to prove that he can make it. And he even said he made it 5 out of 6 times. Now, he was doing all this stuff in Wisconsin. I went back and looked at Wisconsin. Well, if you have an engine failure at the airport he was at 500 feet, look at all the space that you've got straight ahead of you. Why would you even think about a 45-degree bank at 500 feet trying to turn around? What are we trying to tell people? I'm trying to tell people there is no harm in landing off-field. You'll be a hero. Land it anywhere you want, any open field, open the door, step out, call me. It's easy. There's absolutely no problem landing off-field. There's no paperwork. This whole thing of trying to make it back, you might make it, but you probably won't. McSpadden, according to him, was one of the greatest pilots since the Wright brothers, and he couldn't do it. He brought it around, and look how close he ended up. The parallels between the McSpadden AOPA crash and this one in Oklahoma City are eerie. These guys in Oklahoma City came within about 15 feet of clearing this pile of rocks. McSpadden came within about 15 feet of making it back to the airport. Each one ended up about 15 feet too deadly low. Why even turn around? In both cases, ironically, in both cases, both of them had the opportunity to abort and they did not. The Oklahoma City airplane took 2,500 feet to get airborne, and it was a rough-sounding engine. It left a pile of oil underneath where it had been parked. It left an oil stain where it did its run-up. It never made power, and it never aborted, and it stumbled into the air, same as McSpadden. This airplane had the opportunity to land straight ahead, and it did not. McSpadden had plenty of opportunity to land that Cardinal anywhere, but he did not. Why are we telling people that the emphasis is to get back to the airport? I disagree. The emphasis is to stay alive. You put that airplane anywhere you want. I really don't care. As long as you can unbuckle and step out, you have met my requirement. Otherwise, it's not good. If you see how these people died, this is not pretty. You are weighing everything, rolling the dice on your ability to make it back when you had a sure shot, can't miss, wings level, straight ahead, you're going to be alive. Why would you not take the sure shot?
And simulated engine failure. Go ahead. And there you are, set up just perfect, 418.
All right, I'm going to zoom through the accidents here. The best I know them here. I admit I have not placed a lot of attention on the 3 here for this week. I'll tell you a little bit about what I do know. There's not a lot of information out there yet. I hope to get you caught up a little bit better as information becomes available this week during the week. Let's take a look at them real close here, and I'll give them to you. This is November 4171 Sierra, that's the A36 out in Arizona. Kevin Steffi, age 64. November 188 Papa Charlie, that's the PC-12 in Texas. On an IFR approach, a guy named Greg Seaman, 65 years old, shot the RNAV GPS approach to the north in Texas. Something happened at the very end and he drove it straight in the ground. Don't know yet. Got very little information on this.
The plane was preparing to land in San Angelo, Texas, but the pilot can be heard saying he overshot the runway. Texas Department of Public Safety says a small plane that left from Jacksonville this morning crashed near Cristobal, Texas around 12:38 this afternoon. The plane was found on a ranch with the help of Customs and Border Patrol. Nobody survived. We don't have any photos of the single-engine plane, but learned it is a 1997 Pilatus PC-12 and seats up to 12 passengers. The number of victims on board has not been released yet, but minutes before the crash, the pilot can be heard communicating with air traffic control, preparing to land at a San Angelo airport, and then reporting that there's been a problem.
All right, right turn 030, clear for approach, 4,300 total travel. Hey, Pop Charlie, we overshot it. Pop Charlie, we got a problem.
And again, that is audio between air traffic control and the pilot, who was heard saying he overshot the runway and there's been a problem. Air traffic control says the plane was about 4,300 feet in the air when it disappeared off the radar.
The next one, the RV-8 out in California. I don't even have an N number yet. I know it happened on takeoff. Only one on board. Just happened yesterday. And then the other one, the 172, November 3992 Lima, 172 in Oregon. Hit some power lines. It was low IFR. I'm going to show you a quick Google Earth picture of where this airplane hit relative to the airplane. They say it was very, very low IFR, and he hit the power lines. Of course, he hit power lines at night, and now you're in trouble. The only other one accident I want to look at here real quick, I'll show it to you on the screen here. This is November 907 Lima. This is a flight training airplane up in Asheville, North Carolina. And these guys are out there over the terrain at night. Remember, I've got this thing, pick one. They picked two. They were night and terrain, and they had an engine failure. Of course, Murphy's Law tells you things are going to happen when you don't want them to, when it's least likely that you need it to happen. That's when it's actually going to happen. They made it back, and these two definitely did survive it, but this is your Diamond DA-40 crash in Asheville. Both thankfully got out okay, but they were at night over terrain, lost an engine, could not make it to the airport. They had themselves in a position, they were not in gliding distance of the airport. They were too low to glide to the airport. A lot of bad juju associated with all the setup on this entire thing. I don't like this flight training over terrain at night, low altitude stuff. You're really hanging it out there. The fact that they survived is very fortunate, and I'm glad that they did, but they got lucky. They got crazy lucky on this. You do not want to die on fire in an airplane. I can tell you this is a pretty horrific way to go. We should be placing special emphasis on better decisions and being more AQP trained for the scenarios that are going to happen to you. Prevention is no accident. We can prevent these things from happening. I want to say thanks for everybody that has bought a hat and everybody that's donated $1 or $2. Please don't donate anything, but if you can, $1 or $2 is appropriate. Zelle, PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. I'm trying to get this airplane story done, get this video up and on the air for my tiny little itty-bitty fledgling YouTube channel, Dan Grider. Probable cause.
White Post Tower, Musketeer 6945 Quebec. We're going to return for landing. Okay, we're losing power. We're losing power. I'm going to land on 35 left. I'm declaring an emergency.
Roger, sir. Can you make it straight into runway 17 right or 17 left? Your choice.
I'm going to land on 35. Declaring an emergency.